A sad and gruesome story out of Kansas City this morning, and a warning: these details are disturbing. A mother is accused of killing her 1-month-old baby girl by putting the child in an oven. Mariah Thomas is facing child endangerment charges and other charges as well. First responders say a witness told them the mother went to put the infant down for a nap but accidentally put her in the oven instead of her crib. Police arrested Thomas on Friday, and
how the fuck you accidentally do some shit like that?
Prosecutors officially filed charges yesterday.
Allen police say SWAT officers during a standoff at a home terrorized her children. What started as an investigation into an assault involving her husband revealed new developments. A mother accused of killing her children and leaving them in an oven is preparing to fight for her innocence. Channel 2's Matt Johnson live in downtown Atlanta. Matt, prosecutors revealed more than a dozen charges against her.
And she remained quiet in court today as all 14 disturbing charges were read aloud. Prosecutors say she may have burned her own children to keep investigators from knowing how they really died. Cause to death. Lamora Williams stood silent in front of a judge Monday, accused of murdering her own 2 children and leaving them in an oven. She stared at a prosecutor as he read the 14 charges against her, including 2 counts of murder. A grand jury indicted the 24-year-old mother last month for the deaths of her 2-year-old and 1-year-old sons, Keontae and Jacarter. Police found the 2 boys in an oven October 13th in Williams' apartment in southwest Atlanta. Her family members told us at the time that Williams felt overwhelmed as a single mother of 4.
When I saw that mugshot of her, I knew that was not my little sister.
Police say Williams first said a caregiver was watching the boys at the time of their deaths, but police later ruled that out. Williams pleaded not guilty Monday through her attorney to 4 of the 14 charges. The other charges, including murder, will be addressed at a separate hearing. At the time of her arrest, her family was concerned how long she would last in jail.
I just came from the jailhouse to let them know to put her on suicide watch because she's going to kill herself.
Developments in the case of a toddler who burned to death after being inside of an oven. The child's mother faced a judge for the first time just 24 hours after her boyfriend appeared in court. Channel 2's Kathy Hernandez was inside of the courtroom. Now, Kathy, what happened this morning in court?
Well, the case against Raquel Thompson will go to a grand jury in the next 90 days. Wearing an orange jumpsuit and 8 months pregnant, she appeared before a judge this morning. Thompson, along with her boyfriend, Cornell Malone, are charged with 4 counts of child endangerment. Those charges stem from the death of 19-month-old Jazira Thompson. Court documents say Thompson and Malone left Jazira and Thompson's 3 other children at home alone at the Angel Ridge Apartments on November 17th. Court documents say Jazira played inside the oven and it tipped over on top of her. She died of severe burns. We talked.
The incident in Kansas City has sent shockwaves across the United States, where a mother allegedly killed her 1-month-old infant by placing her in the oven. The accused mother, Mariah Thomas, has been charged with endangering the child's welfare by the court of law. The charges were announced by the court on February 10th. The Kansas City police officials reached the crime scene after the horrific incident was reported on February 9th at 1:30.
Charged with injury to a child. Her daughter is still in the burn unit at Parkland Hospital in Dallas. Fox 4's Alex Boyer has more tonight from Glen Rose.
I can tell you Tasha Hatcher is being held here on $300,000 bond. Earlier today, I talked to her next-door neighbor who tells me the single mother was acting erratically in her front yard minutes before the child ended up in the oven. This is how Tasha Hatcher looks today, locked up behind bars, accused of a despicable act.
I think we're all just shocked by what happened. We can't believe that it happened so close to home, you know?
Hatcher's next-door neighbor, who asked that we not show her face or identify her by name, says her father-in-law was cutting the grass Thursday night when he saw Hatcher behaving strangely.
This next one is one of the most difficult stories to talk about. Just the thought of what happened is very difficult to imagine, but it is real. I'm talking about the Atlanta mom charged with killing her 2 babies by putting them in the oven and turning it on. Lamora Williams is expected back in court tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is her preliminary hearing where the state has to provide enough evidence to the judge to bind the case over for trial. Well, defense attorney
Terry Robinson are asking the public not to judge her. The 24-year-old mother is making national headlines after authorities made an unforgettable discovery inside her apartment.
As I entered the dwelling, I was hit and discovered a baby in the oven.
Police arrested Robinson for the murder of her 3-year-old son. They say he had been burned in the oven. His body was still warm.
She's a great mom, a great person, a great sister. We just don't know what happened.
Officers found the body after responding to a 911 call. It's unclear.
This is Luke chapter 23 and 29. For behold, the days are coming, in the which they shall say, Blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bare, and the paps which never gave suck. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. For if they do these things in the green tree, what shall be done in the dry? First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Akim, pushing this word with truth, sincerity, with charity, presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice. We who are ready to live salute you. Okay. Now, as a scripture that I read, okay, all right, basically talking about the times that we're coming into, all right, and some would argue that we're already here, you know, but really, you know, we're just on the verge of it. We're on the verge of Jacob's trouble, all right, you know, and you know, let me you know, because I really want to do this lesson, and there's you know, a main subject I want to touch, but I want to touch on a couple multiple correlating things, okay? Because the time is coming where the shelves are going to be empty, the stores are going to be shut down. There's not going to be any food coming into the cities, man. All right. The people are going to be sieged, okay? So that's why the scripture says the days come where they shall say, Blessed are the barren, man. Okay. Now, of course, those times, you know, we've seen times like that, 70 AD, all right, the time of the Babylonians attacking us, you know, and various other atrocities that have happened to our people. But here it is, we're in a time where, as the scripture says, the love of many is waxing cold. And according to the curses, we already know that our women have a hate and disdain for the men and the children that she gives birth to. All right. And I read, if they do these things in the green tree, what should be done in the dry? So if they're doing these things now, all right, before the stores are shut down, before all hell breaks loose, imagine what's going to happen when it does. Okay? Imagine what's going to happen when it does. Okay? Because now you're in a time where women are so hardened towards their children, so degenerate, so base, that they're just throwing their children in the oven. All right? Now, one point I want to touch on is this. Let me go into it. Now, this is one particular point that I want to touch. All right, I'm going to read this little brief excerpt from Wikipedia. All right. And it says, Baba Yaga. I basically typed in, who is Baba Yaga? All right. Baba Yaga is an enigmatic, ambiguous character from Slavic folklore who has two opposite roles. Now, I'm not talking about both her roles. I'm talking about the main thing she's known for. All right. And basically, reason why I'm bringing this out is because this is an actual spirit, okay? This is an actual demon. You got to ask yourself, why are so many women, especially black women, putting their children in the oven? All right. You know, I'm going to get into that more and more. One, this is just one particular aspect of why it's happening. One, because the women are weaker. That coupled with the hate for the men that got them pregnant and the hate for the very children that they gave birth to. That's a curse in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, man. All right. Her eyes shall be evil towards her husband, all right, and towards her children. That, coupled with this particular spirit or particular demon, because women are the weaker vessels. And truly, anybody that doesn't have the covering of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is susceptible to demons. You really don't have much of a defense against them if Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, it doesn't have you hedged about. All right. It says, in some motifs, she is described as a repulsive or ferocious-looking old woman who fries and eats children, while in others she is a nice old woman. Well, we're not reading that. We're not talking about that part. That's just how motherfuckers try to spin these demons and witches, man. Try to make them sound good. No, this is about a bitch that puts children in ovens. You know, they got various artistic variations for this particular demon, as you could see. Baba Yaga. And if you've been watching movies like John Wick or they featured the name in John Wick, the last Hellboy they came out, which was trash. There was a deleted scene in Dracula Untold where he met with the witch Baba Yaga. All right. And this is really just a demon. It's a spirit that takes hold of these women to cast their children into the fire, man. All right. Now, let me look at one more, because you also have the story of Hansel and Gretel, right? It says with the gingerbread hag, which is really basically another rehashed story of Baba Yaga, right? The witch is the main antagonist in the fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel, though in some versions she is known as the gingerbread hag. In Engelbert Humperdinck's 1892 opera, she is called Rosina Leckermal, the German translation of the name being Raisin Sweet Tooth. All right. Which this is the same demon as Baba Yaga, just rehashed, regurgitated. All right. As the scripture says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against spiritual wickedness in high places. All right. And this is one particular spirit, you know, that is very, very prevalent in the earth right now, especially amongst the nigger woman. You know, she's already very susceptible to this demon because she already hates her children. So it's not really hard for this demon to, coerce her, so to speak. But, as the scripture I read, if they do these things in the green tree, what shall be done in the dry? All right. So if they're doing this now, they're cooking their children and they're not even eating them. it's not even a point of them being hungry. This is just a high level demonic that will possess a woman to do that. All right. Now, let me grab another scripture. I want to hit another point. This is Leviticus 18:21. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am Yahweh. All right. Now, I don't know if these women are consciously, I don't believe that they're consciously doing any of this, like as far as, to any god, I really just it's a mixture of the nigga woman hating her children and being demonically possessed, man. Okay, or coerced. Okay, but this is something that our people have done in the past and still do to this very day, as you can see. And as the scripture says, we're not to practice those things, man. All right. Now let me ask Google. It's going to be one of my more lengthier lessons. I can see that now. So please bear with me. Who is all right? All right. Bear with me. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. I typed in who is Molech. In the Hebrew Bible, the figure Molech is said to be a Canaanite god that the Israelites are not to worship. The Bible presents Molech as a deity that demands fire sacrifices of children, specifically leading to the biblical command from God, do not allow any of your offspring to be offered up to Molech, Leviticus 18:21. All right. So that's also another spirit. Okay. All right. Here's certain depictions of Molech. All right. Now I want to play a clip. Now I'm going to play this clip for educational purposes only. This is under the Fair Use Act. Fair use. Fair use. I am not profiting from this footage. I'm using this under the Fair Use Act. All right.
The Creator creates, and we destroy, and we do all of it through you. We always have. Did you forget your history, Jimmy? Even in ancient times, the archdemon Moloch was celebrated by tossing infants into flaming bonfires, accompanied, of course, by the beating of drums to drown out the screaming. Later on, they erected a giant bronze statue with outstretched arms, kindling fires beneath the palms. And when they toss a little infant into those open palms, they'd flinch at the red-hot metal, but then they'd willingly roll themselves off into the flames.
What does any of that have to do with me?
Oh, nothing, James. Especially since the priests now wear surgical scrubs. The killing takes place in the womb, so there's no screaming to be heard anyway. And the remains are tossed into gas-fired crematoriums. No, James, no. There's no parallel whatsoever to you.
Right, again, that was for educational purposes only. Footage under the Fair Use Act. I am not profiting from that footage. All right. So, all right, that was from a movie called Nefarious. Okay. And he basically was explaining how the priests of Molech now wear scrubs. You call them doctors and nurses now. All right. Their altar is Planned Parenthood. Okay. All right, but and even without all that, as you can see, you have women that are. Well, let me read this scripture. This is Exodus 23 and 25. And ye shall serve Yahweh your power, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. Now this is talking about, in our rest. All right. Okay. In our rest when we're, at peace. Right now, not so much. Okay. All right. In the kingdom, nobody's gonna, nobody's gonna be able to kill our children. All right. But as you see in this place, matter of fact, let me get another scripture. Children are being casted at a high rate, man. America has the highest rate of child kidnappings in the world. All right, but let me grab this one. All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon 5. I'm gonna start at 3. This is Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of the Holy Land, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feasts of blood. So this place is high level sacrifice, man, to Molech, man. Now they've converted Molech into more of an owl creature, but it's still the same spirit, same deity. All right, and it's very high level amongst the ranks of Esau as far as Hollywood is concerned, politics, any high so-called high facet of society. These things are going on at a high level. You even have a drug called adrenochrome, which is made from the adrenaline infused blood of children, man. All right, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands, souls destitute of help. All right. Yeah. So even and you even had kings of Israel who did that. I believe, yeah, King Manasseh. He was one who did that at one time after repenting. All right. But yeah, those merciless murderers of children, man. That's what goes on in this place. And that spirit is permeating through the so-called black woman most of all. I even saw a clip about this one feminist nigga woman talking about how I killed my children. Talking about how she gets abortions and stuff like that, man. But and this is a high level demonic place and filthy that we live in, man. They even got a saying, the most dangerous place for a child is in the womb of a black mother, man. And these women, mainly these black women, are murdering their children at a high rate. And notice how on that last news clipping that I played, they would not call the woman a murderer. They wouldn't call her a murderer. Or scripture says, he that justifieth the wicked and he that condemneth the just, even they both are an abomination. All right. So these demon spirits and ancient rituals, you know, coupled with the black woman's hate and disdain for her man and her children, you just got a recipe for disaster. And like I read, if they do these things in the green tree, what will be done in the dry? See, if they're doing this now, imagine how Jacob's trouble is going to look, man. Lamentations 4:9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. For the hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. All right. And you can read, there's accounts of that in the Josephus as well. During 70 AD, you had the 7-year siege by the Romans in Jerusalem. Okay. So you had, accounts of cannibalism because there was no food coming in and there was nothing, going out. If you went out, you were slayed with a sword pretty much. So that's the time we're coming into as well, even on a higher level, because Jacob's trouble is going to be worse than anything mankind has ever seen. All right. So you can best believe there's going to be a high level amount of this going on. And it already is. Okay? It already is, man. On multiple fronts, man. All right? That coupled with hold on. This is Job 39:13. Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacock, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth, and warmeth them in the dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beasts may break them. All right, and this in the scriptures liken the so-called black woman, the Israelite woman, to an ostrich. All right, she is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear. Because Yahweh have deprived her of wisdom, neither have they imparted to her understanding. So yeah, the black woman, she's hardened towards her own children, man. And really that's a part of the curses as well. All right, this is Lamentations 4:3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breasts, they give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostrich in the wilderness, right? And it's very rare nowadays to see a so-called black woman to breastfeed. That's supposed to be a bonding thing between the woman and the child. Showing you how hardened towards her child these women have become in these last days. The tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth. For thirst the young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. Right, and there was an account also of this nigger woman, I believe in London, going to party for months and leaving a newborn baby in the house to die, man. Starving it to death, man. All right. And this is, the black woman, the nigger woman is a goddamn disaster, man. And this is pretty much the worst case scenario for our children, man. Because, as the scripture says, the Lord has created a new thing in the earth. The woman shall compass a man. So, by this devil ruling, the woman has been exalted over the man, and she gets all the custodial rights and all those things. And these women, they will cut off their nose to spite their face. They will murder their own children just to get back at their baby daddies, man. Okay? Because the nigga woman is a savage and selfish beast, man. All right? All right, and we're already seeing, and the media has to keep the image of because the so-called black woman's Esau's number one tool of destroying us as a nation. All right, as the scripture says, the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations, man. All right, so they have to keep this image of the black woman, or keep her, as you would say, unaccountable. That's why in certain reports it says she accidentally. How the fuck do you accidentally put a child in the oven, man? All right, but the days are coming where nobody is. Every drop of blood is going to be accounted for and paid for. Nobody's going to get away with anything. But as the scripture says, whoever perished being innocent. A lot of these children are just get judged for their past lives. That's the spiritual aspect of this thing that, if you're just tuning in to this, you haven't been listening to Great Millstone, then you probably don't really understand what I'm saying right now, But yeah, that's where we're at with it, man. And that's the spirit that's permeating within the black woman, because, matter of fact, the black woman does not, let me see her. Because a black woman does not want to be a mother or a wife. She wants to be what the devil has portrayed on TV. All right. She thinks living is she thinks living is basically living in pleasure, but as the scripture says, she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. She wants to be free of her duties as a woman. All right. Now, this scripture is mainly talking about doctrine, but it's comparing it with the woman. So I'm going to do the same. This is Proverbs 7:10. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot and subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. All right. This is mainly talking about doctrine, but likening it unto a woman, mainly a nigga woman. Because they got this saying now, I'm outside, we outside, we outside, And that's the modern, nigga woman now, man. They're all drug addicts and they're all whores. They're highly violent and volatile. All right. And they have a hate towards their men and towards their children. All right. And to themselves, for that matter. All right. But as the scripture says, Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai has mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof and caused Egypt to err in every work thereof. All right. So the spirit that is on these women is a very ill, a very perverse, and a very dark spirit, man. It takes a very dark spirit for a woman to take her child and throw it in the oven, man. All right, that is a high level hate, man. All right. But this is the world we're in now. This is the time we're in now. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And that spirit of Molech, all right, that spirit of Baba Yaga is a very strong spirit in the earth right now, especially here in Babylon the Great. You know, like I said, that name Baba Yaga, in the last few years, we've been hearing it a lot in these movies, man. Okay, because it's really a demon, man, a spirit of cooking and devouring children, man. You know, and mainly a feminine spirit, man, because it jumps on women mostly, man. You know, you know, and that's why we need, you know, this place to be destroyed, man. You know, Numbers 35 and 33. So you should not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it, man. You know, so for all these bitches, man, that are throwing their children into the oven or even getting abortions or, you know, any of that, the Lord's about to throw you into an oven, man. All right? The Lord's about to throw you bitches into an oven, man. You know? As the scripture says, I will leave you there and melt you, man. You know? But this is a high-level demon that is in the earth right now and is permeating mostly through the black woman, man. You know? But yeah, it all ends with the missiles, man. We need to get the hell up out of here, man. All right, because you know you got brothers, many brothers who have children with these goddamn wombats, man. These goddamn animals, man. And our children are not safe, man. As you can see, our children are not in safe hands, man, unless covered by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Which is even more cause for us to go hard in this truth, man. You know, if so be, maybe Yahweh Bashim Yahushua have mercy on our children, man. You know, because they're in the hands of a whole jackal, man. You know. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Hope this lesson was edifying. I would like to say shalom. Kwam Yasharala.